Good afternoon and welcome to CanadianAgMarkets.com. My name is Brian Como. Today is the 1st of May, and I'm coming to you early today. I'm actually coming to you before the market closed today. Got a doctor's appointment I got to get to later, and then my daughter's high school softball game, her first of the season. So I'm going to skip out of here a little bit early. But um, so, you know, some of what we are going to talk about here today is subject to change, but as we get into the close. But I'm going to report on what futures are doing right now as we get closer to the end of the day. So I'm coming to you right now at 12:07 Central Time. That would be 11:07 uh, Mountain or Alberta time. Currently, we are seeing canola actually push back up to the $700 area. We are up $7.60 today, at least at this time. We're up 2 cents in Minneapolis wheat at 5.97, so still trading sub $6 there. Kansas wheat is down about half a cent at 5.29 and a half. Chicago wheat is up 1 3/4 to 5.30 3/4. Soybeans are up 8 cents to 10.45. Corn is down 1 3/4 to 4.75 and a half. And the Canadian dollar is at 72.20 this morning. All right, let's get into our presentation for today. Um, a lot of maps today instead of futures charts, so hopefully you're okay with that. Got some fundamental or at least some new crop fundamental information to report to you on today. Today was the release of the European Commission AMIS report or AMIS crop report. AMIS stands for Agricultural Market Information Service. They're a good resource for European and global information. And what I like about them is that they're independent from the USDA, so a little bit of a different perspective. Not saying one is right or one is wrong, but it's always good to look at a bit of a different perspective. We will look at some USDA information here in a second. At this time, we're going to focus on the wheat portions of this report. Amos is showing here. I'm going to get my laser pointer out here. Amos is showing some dry conditions in much of northern Germany. That's up here. Turkey, Ukraine, and just some northern Europe and northern Russia as well. If we kind of break down where the wheat is grown here, this is EU wheat production as a whole. France is the largest by far producer of wheat. It's mostly concentrated in the north. This was a watch out earlier, but rains there have corrected that, and we're now seeing favorable conditions in the much of the north of France. Germany accounts for another 12% of the wheat grown in Europe proper. That's kind of split between north and south. It's the north here that is under some stress. We also see some stress happening in Poland, Lithuania, and then as we move into the Black Sea countries here, which I'll show you in a moment here. This is Ukraine. As you can see, wheat is spread pretty evenly through Ukraine, although a lot of it is centered in here where we actually see quite a bit of the conflict happening. Again, this whole country is labeled as a watch by AMIS. So, this is one area that we may want to watch going forward for wheat. If we want, of course, for the farmers there, we'd like to see increasing crop conditions, but it probably would be more beneficial to price if we didn't. But that is where the wheat is grown in Ukraine. Here's a map of Russia. This one's a little skewed because they turn the map of Russia so north kind of is more in towards this corner here. As you can see, this is Ukraine here. It's really the North Caucasus and this southern area of Russia that produces the most wheat. But this central area, which produces about a quarter of it, this is the area here that is under some dryness stress, at least at this point. It's not dire by any stretch of the imagination, but just labeled a watch by Amos. Also, just for reference, this is where rapeseed is grown in Europe. This area here, Poland, produces quite a bit, 18%. Germany, a lot in the north, produces about 21%. Those two countries are under dryness watch at this point in time, that area, that northern Europe area here is under dryness watch. Again, France is the largest producer in Europe. They produce about 21%, all in the north. So most of that, and also the southern German rapeseed crop is still in pretty good condition at this point, or at least the soil moisture is in good condition at this point. Here is Amos does break down or disaggregate the wheat crops to winter and spring. So as you can see, this winter crop is where most of the concern is, right? That northern Germany, Poland, Ukraine, northern Russia. Um, they are still labeling US here a watch for dryness, even though we have seen some improving crop condition ratings. I'm going to get into those in just a moment here. Um, but yeah, as we go forward here, this is the spring wheat conditions that Amos is reporting. Not a lot of concern here in the spring wheat crop in the northern US, Canada, and the northern parts of Europe at this point. So some concerns, but just a watch in the winter wheat, not as much concern or none in the spring wheat crop at this point. If you're liking our videos, make sure you subscribe to our insights that go much deeper into Canadian ag markets. We also issue sales guidance and strategy guidance. You don't want to miss out on that as we move into the growing season. $99 Canadian per month. Cancel anytime. Go to canadianagmarkets.com to subscribe. There will also be a link in the description below. All right, let's get into the USDA crop drought monitor at this point. This is one of the areas where the USDA is starting to diverge from that Amos report here. As you can see, winter wheat drought areas dropped by 10 percentage points from 33% to 23%. So a large increase in, I guess, condition ratings, if you want to call them that, as we go forward. Soybeans dropped 21% from 21% to 15. Corn from 26% to 20. So overall, the drought is receding in the US, or there's becoming less of a concern in the US for the drought. So when you look at the futures market, it's not hard to see why we are seeing some weakness, particularly in some of the US row crops like soybeans, corn, and particularly wheat, as we see improving conditions here. Here's the winter wheat drought areas. So just kind of show reference, this whole area of Kansas used to be under watch, and even this part of Colorado here. We've seen significant amount of rains here in the northern part of Oklahoma, or this wheat growing area of Oklahoma, and the northern part of Texas. So that part is, becoming much better as far as soil moisture concerns. Also, any of the drought concerns that were in the PNW in Idaho and Washington and Oregon have dissipated significantly as well. Here is a graphical representation of how much drought each state is seeing as drought. Kansas is now at 41%. Most of that is just, moderate drought, or basically just a watch, a small amount of dryness. That used to be up to 76%, I believe, earlier this spring. So conditions have changed significantly here for winter wheat crop. Corn as well. Corn drought areas are diminishing. Only the most western corn is still at some level of risk. The big I states of Indiana, Illinois, and Iowa are almost void of risk now at this time. Ohio is also showing no risk at this point. Nebraska, which accounts for about 10% of the U.S. corn, is still at risk. That's the state just south of South Dakota here. But Minnesota is also in good condition, and Minnesota is the third largest corn producing state in the U.S. Not a lot of people realize that, but it is true. A lot is grown in the southern part that butts up there against Iowa. All right, one last thing. I follow a woman on LinkedIn named Susan Stroud, very intelligent individual, and will offer comment on canola. Will often offer comment on canola, which is something not a lot of US analysts do. So I stole this chart from her today, and it shows the current feedstock for biodiesel that is currently available to the market. Total vegetable oil feedstocks have reached a 2-year low at 2.18 billion pounds. Inside of this, soy oil stocks are dangerously low. Soy oil, of course, is a major component in canola crush margins. Even canola oil stocks are significantly lower than they were through much of the rest of this calendar year, the start of this calendar year thus far. So it's getting pretty thin out there for biofuel-based diesel feedstocks, which include vegetable oils, tallow, and products like that. So thanks for sharing this, Susan. I will also link to Susan's website in order to give her proper credit in our episode notes below today too. With that, thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have a great day, and cheers.